Good afternoon. Today I'm sitting with Deacon
Cynthia Gainer,
and we are sitting in the
St. Bartholomew Trinity Church, Episcopal. It's at 149 Walnut Avenue in Scottdale, Pennsylvania.
Yes. And I walked in and what did I say? I'm immediately in love with the church. It is just beautiful. It's old, and I love an old church that has survived the years. How old is this building?
It's over 100 years old.
That's amazing.
Yes. It's in really good condition. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just cute. It's beautiful. Not cute. That's not the right word. It's very worshipful. It's very cute.
It's tiny.
It's homey.
And quaint.
Yes, it's quaint. It looks like the kind of church you'd see in a movie.
Right.
You know, but it's just a beautiful building. You're doing some renovations, and you're getting noticed by the public, which I think is awesome. Now tell me, you've not been here that awfully long.
No, I am newly ordained.
Okay.
I was ordained in June in the Episcopal Church, and I was assigned to St. Bartholomew. I actually was assigned to 3 parishes. St. Bartholomew is my main parish.
Okay.
Yes.
And the other 2 parishes?
Our Church of the Advent in Jeanette, All Souls Church in North Versailles.
And what are the times of your services here?
Our services here are 5 p.m. Saturdays, every Saturday.
Okay.
And the services in Jeanette are 9:30 on Sunday. The services in All Souls are 10 o'clock on Sunday. So every other Sunday I flip, and on every single Saturday I am here.
Are you ever behind the wheel and you have no idea where you're going? Like,
I have a
like, do
schedule.
you get a little confused?
No, I have a schedule. I have it on my refrigerator. Okay, where am I going today?
Oh.
Although I have forgotten my stole once. Like, oh, jeez.
Did anyone
Is it
notice?
At the other church. They probably noticed, but it didn't matter.
It doesn't, yeah. I'm sure God was fine with that. So, being brand new to the ministry, what drew you in?
About 10 years ago, I had some difficulties in my life. And I was away from the church. So I felt a calling to go back to this church that I had known, and that was the Church of the Advent in Jeanette.
Okay.
When I opened the door, I felt like I was home. And it had been a long time, but it didn't matter. I felt like I was home. At that time, I didn't think, it was the farthest thing from my mind that I would become an ordained minister. It had no intention. But as I became more involved in the church, I realized that my calling was to something bigger. And here I am, ordained. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what surprised you the most about being in the ministry, being a deacon in the Episcopalian church?
The paperwork.
Oh, really? Paperwork?
Paperwork.
Yeah.
The amount of time that I put preparing for a sermon, preparing for the service for that week, keeping track of things, records of things. It surprises me about the paperwork.
Right. Yeah, that kind of surprised me too, how much time you put in just behind the laptop, just getting things done and answering questions and that, whatever. Have you found any challenges here in Scottdale?
No, the community is very open. They take pride in their small town.
Right.
I find that refreshing. I've seen a Halloween parade and a Christmas parade, and there's always a call to come and see the lights. They have all kinds of community things going on, which I find really refreshing. Small town kind of way of thinking.
And there's a church on every corner.
There is a church on
maybe
every
even
corner.
2 on every corner here in Scottdale. It's
Right.
a very religious community, and they take pride in their churches. Most of them, if not all of them, I don't mean to say something I shouldn't say, but they're all very well kept, and they seem like there's a pride in Scottdale, Pennsylvania, to keep the churches going and to keep them upgraded and just to keep them beautiful.
Right.
Right.
And they are very beautiful.
Yes, they are. So the paperwork surprised you?
The paperwork surprised me.
Now the sermons, is that something you write, or is that something you get from your denomination, or do you have to keep to some sort of liturgy?
I keep to the readings. We have readings that are outlined through the year. We have 3 sets of readings. A, B, and C. I keep my sermons to the readings, but I write them all. So we usually have, or we always have, a reading from the Old Testament, a reading from the New Testament, a reading from the Psalms, and the Gospel. So among all of those, I meditate and pray on them, and something comes up, and that's what formulates my sermon.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, we're approaching the Christmas season.
Right.
Is there a Christmas message this year, being your first Christmas, I assume, as deacon of...
It is,
yes,
my
your first Christmas.
Yes.
Are you excited about that? Do you have something you want to share with them, that something just burning in your heart about the Christmas season?
Well, they're always welcome here. We're celebrating Advent. We have our Advent wreath here. Last week we celebrated our lessons and carols. Our service will be on, our Christmas Eve service will be on Saturday, December 23rd.
Okay.
So if you have plans for Christmas Eve, we're open December
Christmas
20th.
Eve.
Right.
And what time is that?
It's the 5 p.m. service.
The 5 p.m. service here in Scottdale on the 23rd,
Third.
on that Saturday.
Right. Lots of people have plans for Christmas Eve.
Well, yes, and I do respect that. I mean, family was invented, God invented family before
Right.
church. So if you
Right.
have something with your family, it'd be nice to bring your family to church.
Right.
But yes, that's very nice that you have something that can accommodate Christmas Eve with families.
On
That's-
Saturday.
So did you grow up here?
No, I grew up in Derry Township.
Oh, Derry, sure.
Moved when I was married and moved to Penn Township right outside of Chedek, Pennsylvania. So I've been in southwestern Pennsylvania all my life.
You told me before you have a son.
I have an adult son. He lives out in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Not Allentown, Pittsburgh. Allentown on the other side of the state.
That's too far, but at least
Right.
it could be further, right? It could be further. If somebody was to follow you throughout your week, what do you think would surprise them about how you spend your time? Now, you already mentioned the paperwork. That surprised you, but what would surprise someone else?
I think that being a deacon, things come up. So I will get a call, this person is in the hospital, can you come and visit them? So if nothing else is planned, I will go and visit this person in the hospital. So it's kind of a spontaneous thing. It's not like I have a 9-to-5 job. So I might have an hour or so here to work on a sermon. I have an hour or so here to do some financial paperwork. I have a couple hours to visit a parishioner. And always there's prayer.
Yes.
Always, always prayer.
Absolutely.
That's a big part of my day. So I think that would surprise people. I think that sometimes people think that we only do our work on Sunday or a Saturday.
Right.
It's the whole week.
Absolutely. Well, with the time remaining in the interview, if you want to face the people and just give them a word of encouragement to get through any trying times they may be going through as they're watching this video.
Okay, well, I think that a lot of people have a vague idea about God. You know, maybe we're brought up in a church and you have some idea of what God is or who he is. But to really understand God, we have to understand Jesus, because Jesus Christ is the intimacy of God. So how do we learn about Jesus Christ? We learn by listening to the gospel.
Amen.
Well, where do we learn the gospel? In church.
In church.
So we pay attention and we hear the gospel every week. And I know people say, well, yeah, I tried church and it's not my cup of tea. I mean, there's so many things going on. It doesn't apply to my life right now. It's just not for me. It's something far away. So I would say that, you know, we have to take a little bit of time and meditate on what's going on in the world, that Christ is nearer than we think. He's really intimately connected to us. And you learn that in church. And you learn that when you're in fellowship with people, you listen to the word, you have to open your heart and your mind. I like to think of it as like riding a bicycle.
Okay.
Okay, so you know, when you ride a bike, you don't learn it the first time you get on, right? It takes a while. You have to learn how to pedal hard and sometimes you get to coast, and that's fun. And sometimes you have to brake hard, have to pay attention to traffic, you have to pay attention to dangerous things, potholes. But you don't learn that right away. You learn that after a while, and then it's thrilling. Then the ride is thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
So church is like that. You might come to church and say, yeah, you know, I was going to try it out, but the kids are crying, and I don't understand the sermon, and I couldn't find my way in these books here, and, you know, and they're kneeling and standing, and just felt awkward. Well, you have to give it a little chance. You have to give it a chance. And believe me, if you give God that little chance, he'll make it grow. He'll make it grow. And you'll understand that the intimacy of Christ is his love, and his love for you is greater and more wonderful than you can even imagine. But that's what I'd like to say.
Amen. That's a very nice way to end this interview.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. God bless.
Bye-bye.